Boy, oh boy, I got a doozy for you guys I want to talk about if you don't already know it or if you are hiding under a rock. This is DJ Wolf Live. All right, guys, let me quench my thirst right quick before I get started. All right, let's get it in. Let's go. All right. I actually heard about a day or two ago. I couldn't believe my ears or eyes or anything else. There is a report by several media reports that I'm actually quoting that's been documented. Trayvon Martin's murderer, and yes, I'm going to say that because that's what he actually did, George Zimmerman, is suing the parents of Trayvon Martin for a reported $100 million. Or something like that, yeah. Yeah, it was $100 million. $100 million. He's suing him. He just filed a lawsuit against the parents of Trayvon Martin, the young 17-year-old man, the young 17-year-old kid that he murdered. He's suing their parents for $100 million. And I'm like, say what? Are you serious? Are you? So I'm trying not to cuss. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you effing kidding me? This son of a bitch. Yeah, I said, this son of a bitch. This son of a bitch who cold-bloodedly murdered this young man has the audacity to sue Trayvon Martin's parents. They're claiming that Rachel Jantel, whoever, the young girl who had testified, who was on the other end of the phone the night Trayvon Martin was murdered, they're claiming that she was switched out because Trayvon Martin's actual girlfriend did not want to testify. I don't know of any documentation about that. But Rachel Jantel was the one that was supposed to have been talking to Trayvon Martin the night of the murder, right as it happened. But it's kind of funny that they didn't use the evidence of the audio where Zimmerman was told and was given a lawful order to stand down and not to pursue the alleged suspect. He was told that in an audio tape. All right? And of course, his lawyers and the producer of the movie, there's a documentary out about it. I just found that out this morning. That's spurned on this lawsuit. But I cannot believe with my own two ears and eyes that he's trying to sue Trayvon Martin's parents and bring up all that bullshit that he created and got away with. Okay? But the producers of the movie, of the documentary, and the lawyer says that George Zimmerman was innocent. I said he was not innocent. He wasn't innocent at all. Dude, don't do that. He wasn't innocent. How? It's like, how the hell was he innocent? Where was he innocent at? You know? He admitted to shooting, but he claimed it was in self-defense. That's what his claim was. You know, he really was trying to claim that Trayvon Martin jumped him, which was a crock of shit. Trayvon Martin wasn't thinking about that guy at all. If anything, George Zimmerman was likely, like we already know, was harassing Trayvon Martin, and Trayvon Martin was trying to defend himself. You know, but yet the court ruled out that he had a stand your ground, and because he was black, George Zimmerman got to overrule, have the case overruled and ruled in his favor. I just don't understand how any judge would even acknowledge this. The theater was a theater that the documentary was initially going to be shown at. They decided not to even show it, and bravo to them, because it's a bunch of bullshit. You know, it's based on a lot of non-factual stuff and innuendos and anything to try to substantiate George Zimmerman's lawsuit. Now, I will admit the girl who supposedly is the actual girlfriend of Trayvon Martin is smoking hot, but I don't think that's her. Matter of fact, I don't think that I think this is a setup, because this girl, and no offense, but this girl like somebody they just pulled out of a strip club to pretend like that was his girlfriend. Oh yeah, I saw the video footage myself. But they're trying to do anything and everything to try to put a smear campaign against the victim. That's what pisses me off more than anything. How the hell you gonna sit there in all these years? Oh yeah, by the way, he was guilty. You're trying to say Trayvon Martin was guilty. You're trying to say his family perpetuated a setup to get George Zimmerman locked up. George Zimmerman admitted to murdering Trayvon Martin. Why would he not be locked up? Really? Really? Okay, I'm sorry, guys and gals. I'm gonna have to go straight on this because this is pissing me the fuck off. Seriously. This son of a bitch. I was just talking about this son of a bitch. One woman on YouTube last night, I ain't gonna say her name, she said, why is this motherfucker still breathing? You know? I won't go that far, but why is he still walking free? Why is this son of a bitch still walking free? Why is he walking around like nothing happened? Like he wasn't guilty of committing a crime against a minor. There should have been all kind of charges filed against George Zimmerman. And those charges that should have been filed should have stuck. You know? There's no reason why those files should have never stuck on George Zimmerman. He murdered a child. He murdered an underage boy, kid. He murdered a minor. He abused a minor. Okay? And I saw a picture of Trayvon Martin laying on that ground, man. It'll break your heart. You know? I'm telling you right now, I wouldn't, God forbid, if it was my kid or kids, I would have never let that case rest. That's the one other thing that bothered me more than anything was the fact that Trayvon Martin's parents, once they got the money, they just completely stopped pursuing it. Of course, that's what they call the out-of-case settlement, and that's what happened. That's what led them to starting the Trayvon Martin Foundation too. But I just shaking my head. I'm like, I don't believe this mess. The fact that they really haven't, vocally been out about it, because I would have every day, every chance I got, every news station, every television station, every radio station, social media, everything. Do you know next year marked the 8th anniversary of Trayvon Martin's death? I can't even believe it's been that long. I really can't. It's angry. I'm still angry about it. I've been angry about it from day one. The first time I heard about it. I'm still very angry about it. And I haven't stopped. I've been talking about this case for 7 years. More than 7 years. 7.5 years. Over 7 years. I've never stopped talking about it. If you listen to my channel for the last 7 years that I've known about this, I've never stopped talking about it. And I'm still not going to stop talking about it. Till justice is served. Here we talk about this justice for all theory, and it's never really been that way here. At least not for African Americans. We've never really had justice for all in this country. We've never really have had it. Not the way it's supposed to be. I was looking at a picture of a black man who's hung in Mississippi in the early 1900s. Just hung like a dog. Cold-blooded murder. Sure did. You know, the Watchmen on HBO's their show loosely talks about the Tulsa riots. Matter of fact, the plot is based on that. Come on, man. The whole plot behind the Watchmen on HBO talks directly about the Tulsa riots, where one of the main characters played by my girl, what's her name, Virginia King. I think her grandfather was a victim or something like that, or he was a victim of the Tulsa riots, and it does make you watch that show because that's what it talks directly about, and I'm actually glad that they point that out. That's a good way to bring it up, and it's a good way to put it out there because that really happened. You know, I've sort of gotten into the show a little bit, and I'm starting to get a little bit more and more about it. I didn't like the Watchmen movie, but I like the TV series because it's bringing out stuff that needed to be addressed. You know how this country hides the dirt, and I'm not saying nothing out of turn. Y'all know this to be a fact. People love to hide their dirt, man. You know what they do? They hide the dirt up under the rug and sweep it there. That way nobody can see it directly, or can actually see the dirt that's directly in front of them because it's covered up. Yeah, you know. And I think that's what's going on here. George Zimmerman is trying to do a reverse. He's trying to cover up the dirt by uncovering the dirt that he did and try to tell you it's not there. That's pretty much the same thing he's trying to do. You know? If anything, he's trying to use the dirt that he did, uncover it, sweep it out, and then put the rug back down and tell you it never existed by this bogus ass lawsuit. You know, apparently George Zimmerman must be running out of money. Why else would he be trying to sue the parents of Trayvon Martin with his dumb ass self? Daggone George Zimmerman, man, he's a dumbass. He really is a dumbass. I have no words of sympathy for this guy. And you know this guy, people still know, oh yeah, he was a victim. He was not a goddamn victim. He wasn't a victim even in the, he wasn't a victim at all. You know? Some people think he was a hero. He wasn't even a hero. He was a killer. And here's the funny thing about it. The media don't address him as that. They just say, oh, George Zimmerman, blah, blah, blah. Like he didn't do anything. Like, really? Do you guys know what he did? Oh, it wasn't your kid? Oh, he wasn't white? Oh, that's why. Okay. That's why. Interesting. See, and this is the problem, among a bunch of other problems. The problem is that you still have a dominant society that really doesn't give two bits about anybody who's not white. And they could care less. They still don't care less. They could care less about anything. They come up with all kinds of excuses to fuck with you and your families. They come up with bullshit to try to overrule any and everything you do, no matter how well you do it. No matter if you pay your taxes, no matter if you and your spouse work 2 full-time good-paying jobs, no matter if you got your own land, house, and you paying for your stuff, and you're doing things right, and you're going to church, it don't matter. They have no respect for you. I'm being honest. They don't, and they still don't, because they want to control every and anything you do in your part of the world. They feel it's their privilege, and that's part of the problem. They feel privilege over anybody who's non-male, who's non-melanated. I mean, who's melanated? You know, anybody who's melanated, they feel privileged to rule over anything that they do. You know, they don't. You know, they refuse to look at us as just people because they think that they're better, and they continue to do so. They continue to feel they have the same type of attitude and treat you the same. What is this fool doing? Get out of the way! Really? Drive around here, man. But I'm just kind of like, you know, I'm just sick of this mess, man. Sometimes I get sick of even talking about it, but I have to talk about it because if this generation don't get it, maybe the next generation or two may get it after them. You know, I'm not getting no younger, so I'm gonna try to put out as much information as I can to these young people and the generation of younger people out here. And maybe somewhere down in the future, somebody will say, you know what, this guy was right. You know? But I'm not perfect. But I try to be right about what I do and what I say. I do. I really do. It's the honest, the gospel. You know? Because someone needs to address it. We need to take an honest stand about the things that's going on in our world. You know? And stop looking at people like everybody else is different but you. You know? I tried to tell a colleague of mine at one time. He tried to say Trayvon Martin was nothing but a thug because he smoked weed. That doesn't make you a thug because you smoke weed. I said there are nerdy white kids who smoke weed all the time. I hung out with a few of them when I was in high school myself. I know. You know? They're nerdy as fuck, but smoke weed every day. Don't tell me because he's black and smoke weed that makes him a thug. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And really the most racist thing I've ever heard. You know? It really is. But they don't look at black kids as kids. They look at black kids as adults because of their situations. And I don't think that's right. I don't. Yeah, many of them do come from single family homes. Not everybody do. There are a number of them that do. And a number of them get involved in certain things because of their situations at home. You can't necessarily blame the kids for that. You have to blame the parents for that. But that's another whole story. That's another whole issue. And on the other hand, you can't sit there and act like these kids aren't kids or aren't going to be kids when they are kids. You know? But it's the situations that put them in the situation, in the stuff that they're in because of their situations at home. That needs to be taken with the parents. Real talk. But that's another whole story altogether anyway. What I want to say is this, that we cannot allow racism we cannot allow racism to exist in the justice system anymore. We got to weed it out. It has to be weeded out. There's no reason why it should even be there. No reason at all. Here's why. Because there's no excuse for it. None at all. There really isn't. There really is none. Zero. You know what I mean? No excuses. But we always seem to have them somewhere along the line. We still have them. The bottom line is, in order for it to be corrected, We got to do something about it. And to do something about it, I would say voting. But I also say education. We need to get our young kids educated more and more and more. Not just with book sense, but common sense. You know, to know what's really right and what's wrong, what needs to be right, and whatever's wrong need to be righted out, be righted in from wrong, and make it right. Otherwise, we're going to face the same BS we've been facing. The cycle of bullshit. Yes, even in the justice system, there is a cycle of bullshit there. Let's be real. It is. It's clear as a bell. A 28-year-old man is still walking after he murdered a 17-year-old kid. That's child abuse. But no one will ever call that out. They'll say, oh, he was defending himself. He stood his ground. Where's Trayvon Martin's justice at when he stood his ground? Because I'm sure he was being harassed by George Zimmerman. George Zimmerman, as far as I'm concerned, was the one that not only killed Trayvon Martin, but he initiated him to fight him so he had an excuse to shoot him. I've always said that. I cannot say it's a fact, but that's my theory on it. And I still say that's the reason why George Zimmerman is walking today. Because until the justice system stops this bullshit, they'll still keep getting away with murder. And guys like him will always keep getting away. This has been DJ Wolf Live. I am DJ Wolf Live. I'm DJ Wolf. And I am DJ Wolf Live, actually. The channel is For All to Hear on YouTube platform. I'm on several other platforms, including Castbox, iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes, and a host of others. Catch me on them. I can also be reached at my email address, djwolflive@aol.com. That's djwolflive@aol.com for show suggestions, questions, comments, whatever have you. Debates, I'm ready. And as always, you can drop a comment, subscribe, and like on YouTube on my For All to Hear channel. All right, guys, this is DJ Wolf. I got more to say on the back burner, much more. And I'm out.